I think it's useful to remind people the ancient history of legislating by budget panic, because it feels to me like certainly you go back to the 2008 Wall Street bailout, but even since you were elected to Congress in 2012, is that right?
Yeah.
That there's been no regular order. There's been very few opportunities for legislators to actually represent their constituents more and more. And it's John Boehner did it, and Nancy Pelosi did it before him, and Paul Ryan did it as well. This process of they write these massive budgets behind closed doors, and then they look for an opportune time to create either a fake or a real budgeting crisis. And they insist on passing these things before anyone knows what's in them. And now we're in a real crisis, and now we've run up the debt to what is it, $25 trillion now, and they're sort of skipping the entire pretense that the people have any representation in Congress. Where's the outrage on that?
There should be a lot of outrage because, by the way, there's going to be $1 trillion. Actually, the spending bill is due by September 31st. So think about that. This $2 trillion, which is actually $6 trillion, is in addition to $3 trillion of entitlements and the $1 trillion of spending that has to happen by September 31st. The spending is just insane. And like you said, there's no process. Here's what we should have been doing, Matt. We should have been holding hearings on how do you battle the coronavirus. We should have been holding hearings where the doctors show up, not just one doctor. Get 3 or 4 doctors in a hearing and let's have them show us their epidemiological models that justify shutting down an entire economy. Those are the kind of hearings we should have been having. We should have been having hearings on a Manhattan Project to take on this virus, right? The one thing that I regret that the White House has been saying, which is completely false, is that we don't want everyone tested. Of course we want everyone tested. Right now they're testing politicians and celebrities and people that die. Why don't we start testing the people that might be sick or might not be sick instead of telling them go home and ride this out, and if it gets worse, come back and we'll test you. Every American deserves to be tested. And by the way, we need another kind of test too. We need a test for the antigens and the antibodies to know if you've had this and recovered. Maybe you were even asymptomatic, but now you can't carry the virus and you can't catch the virus. Those are the people that should be allowed to move freely and go. Everybody should be allowed to move freely, but those are the people that should be encouraged to move freely, encouraged to go to the nursing homes, encouraged to go to work, encouraged to be cashiers. And if we had sort of a Manhattan Project where we looked at how do you get respirators and ventilators and the tests made, all of that stuff cheaply without nationalizing our car companies, that's what this bill should have been about. And I could have voted for something like that. And that's what the first bill was about, Matt. It was $8 billion, and it was targeted at responding to the virus.